I am going to see what fictional universes I am able to survive in. And that includes any movie, TV, comic, anime, cartoon, whatever. The rules are, number one, I gotta be somewhat relevant. I gotta be in the mix of wherever things go down. For example, in the Avengers, I gotta be in New York City. And I also can't be like ducking smoke to some degree. But if it's like a Hunger Games type situation, I'm a player in the Hunger Games. Also, I don't have any powers. Guys, benching 225 for reps is a superpower, but I'm talking about like, I don't know, something crazy. Unless you have a chance of spawning it, for example, like a quirk in My Hero. I got an 80% chance of getting a quirk. I'm gonna roll my odds. If I get one, I get one. Okay, these are the tiers. Worst off, literal hell. Wallahi uncooked, I'm basically dead. Barely surviving. I've got a chance, but it's not great. Toss up. It could go either way. I might walk out and a falling piano drops on my head top, but I also might live a respectable lifestyle. I'll be alright. That's like, I'm pretty much good. Something good goes sideways, but for the most part, I'll be alright. And then I live a lovely life. I don't gotta worry about anything. There is nothing in this world that can harm me, even realistically speaking. I will probably lead a good lifespan, okay? First one, Last of Us. That sucks. Last of Us zombies, bro. I mean, just they are grotesque. They are simply abhorrent. If you breathe the air, you're cooked. If they bite you, you're cooked. If they scratch you, you're cooked. But I will say they have quarantine zones. And you could just kind of lurk in the quarantine zones and you're Gucci. I guess with my rule set, I'd be out in the open. I don't know about this. I think this would be a problem. Bro, even the damn MC, spoiler alert, Joel got cooked. But I think because humans survive, I feel as though I got a chance. I feel like I'm a very resourceful person. I'd find a way. I think I'm barely surviving. I have survived all 5 nights. And if the actual, like, being there is just the same difficulty as the game, I think I'm good. But it depends. It's like, am I listening to a podcast and then I can't hear, like, in the hallways? But I feel as though with my license line, I'm locked in for all 6 hours. Oh shit. But does the battery last all 6 hours? I think for the most part, I'm good, bro. All I gotta do is close a couple doors, whatnot. I can't just quit the job. The rules imply that I have to stay in there. Demon Slayer. Am I on the Demon Slayer court? No. I'm a normal civilian just like dealing with the demon outbreak. I think it's a toss-up. I think it just depends if there's a demon in my hood and is there any Hashira or is Tanjiro Kamado in there? I'm like, I will defeat you. Is he there to defend me? You know, that's the question on my mind. Honestly, that's it for the most part. I'd be alright. I don't think I'm that worried. JJK. And specifically, I put Shibuya. If you were in Shibuya, guys, I want you to take a look at what happened to Shibuya and JJK. There is about like a 3 football field wide crater sitting in the middle of that city. If you're anywhere in that, you're genuinely cooked. If you get caught in Sukuna's domain, you're cooked. If Mahito gets his hands on you, you're cooked. If you're in the midst of battle while Toshi Fushiguro is in a rampage, you are cooked. If you were there with Sukuna versus Maharaga, Sukuna versus Jogo, you are cooked. Even if I'm not locked in Shibuya, just the fact that I'm in the midst of the cursed spirits and whatnot. I mean, again, people do live a normal life, but I don't know. This is bad. Yeah, this is bad. This is really bad. I'm saying I'm barely surviving. Monsterverse. Okay, with the rule set, you're putting me in harm's way of Godzilla, Mothra, King Kong. All King Kong has to do is fart and then a whirlwind, an absolute gust hits my household and just blows me to Kingdom Come. I don't see a way I survive living in this universe at all. Camp Crystal Lake. Guys, I was never one to go camping as a child. I was always, how do I say this? Too much of a pussy because I would miss my parents too much and I didn't feel comfortable with being on my own. So I never took a camping trip. However, if I took this camping trip and Jason was on the hunt for my ass, dude, I believe there was individuals who were pretty normal who took down Jason. Tommy Jarvis, for example. Like, bro, this is just your average dude. And look, we're basically like just as handsome as one another. And you think I couldn't pull up with a damn shotty on my back? Better yet, let me pull up with a damn Louisville Slugger. I could take out Jason. I really could take out Jason. I'm not even worried about that. But he might sneak my ass because he does have like teleportation and what have you. And I did see he pulled up to Manhattan one time and with one punch, knocked this fool's head clean off his shoulder. So I think that's a toss-up, but I wouldn't completely outrule my chances. Jigsaw, or like Saw. Now, this is a case where I'd be in a Saw trap. I feel like he takes criminals who are basically brain dead. You know, like they're kind of stupid. But if you put me in one of those, like, what's like the Saw headgear? What's like the, yeah, this shit? I don't know what I'm doing here. And he gets creative with it, this sick fuck. But then again, I'd like to trust the fact that I can solve an honest to God riddle, especially when I lock in, you know, like, I've solved all the Lego puzzles with no walkthrough. I did not need to pull up Blitzwinger once in any of my Lego playthroughs. I feel as though that's gotta count for something. I'm gonna say it's a toss-up. Game of Thrones. Now, this is like, there's so many ways you can spin this because it just depends on where you live. If I'm in King's Landing, that's just like a medieval shit fellery of like, you know, I'm trying to make ends meet while the king's walking throughout the street. I'm holding my hands. I'm like, could you spare a piece of bread, please, for a poor pauper like me, please? You know, and hope they toss you like a loaf or something. Or you could be in Winterfell. It'd just be cold, really. And you could earn the honest to God living there. Or you could be the Night's Watch. You could be the one defending Westeros from the Nightwalkers, right? It depends. So I think it really is just a toss-up. I don't think I'm barely, but it's medieval times. But again, people survive. And I'd like to think of my indomitable human spirit that I can survive in said time. Squid Games. Wow, the odds are like so slim. But I got it. 1, trust my competitive spirit. 2, I can lick that cookie. I can stand my base in the tug of war. You put me in the tug of war game, I'm going like this. You know, also, I can do it. Dead calm, not moving a muscle. But again, the odds are just so shite, and it depends on what game you're in, that like I'm barely surviving. That's just like, there's not even skill at that point. Bikini Bottom, literal hell. I'm dead immediately. I don't survive a single time, right? I don't breathe water. Unless you give me like a sandy cheek situation to where like I got like my dome and I got her gear and what have you, then I would have the blessing of pulling up to the Krusty Krab and indulging in a nice Krabby Patty. Oh my days, that would be good. But what are the macros to a Krabby Patty you think? What's the protein? That's the question we need to solve. In any event, if I got gear, I think I'm Gucci. I think I live a lovely life, actually. Because Sandy seems to be doing fine. I think, yeah, I'll do that. Solo leveling. I'm gonna say this. I'll be alright. Why? Yeah, a gate might open above my city and then like S-rank beasts come pouring out of that. But Sung Jin Woo exists in that verse. If Sung Jin Woo exists in the verse that I live in, I'll be alright, is what I'll say, alright? Berserk. Berserk is like literal hell. The amount of beasts, war, carnage that take place in that, not to mention like all the cursed spirits, and or not like the spirits, but just like the damn entities, right? Like the damn entities that pull up there. You know, medieval times suck just you'd have to like shit in a bucket and toss it outside your house, but then just add all sorts of dark fantasy elements to it. It's just awful, man. It's just awful. Avatar World! Again, I'm probably spawning in as a bender. Okay, wait, let me do a wheel real quick. Yeah, I live a lovely life. Come on now. I mean, yeah, I can bend all 4 elements. I can do air bending, fire bending, water bending, earth bending, and if I find shit, I can do back bending as well. You know what I mean? Harry Potter! Now, I'd assume I'm getting placed in Hogwarts in the midst of all the Lord Voldemort attacks. If I'm under the tutelage of my goat, Albus Dumbledore, what do I have to worry about? Now, there is a chance that I get jumped by a Death Eater, and upon impact, I'm gonna get absolutely worked. So I'd say it's a toss-up. It depends on, like, what skill level am I as a wizard? What prowess do I possess as a wizard of the wizarding world? Especially in the school of Hogwarts witchcraft wizard. A Quiet Place. Literal hell. I'm fucking good. Right? I mean, listen to the way I stream. Listen to how I've been streaming. I would make a noise so quickly, and then like a monster's pouring in my butt before you know it. Like, I just don't have a chance. Breaking Bad verse. I think I live a lovely life. I don't know in which way that affects me. Like, am I taking Walter White's drugs? I don't think so. I listened to the Dare line when he said, stay off drugs. You know what I mean? You know, I'm high off life. I'm gonna worry about that. And also, if I ever saw him, I'm not gonna lie, he looks a little bit like a pervert. I wouldn't cross paths with him. I'm pretty sure I'm living a fine life. One Piece! I'd be a pirate. Guys, realistically speaking, I got Kangaroo's hockey. I'm the world's strongest streamer, for God's sake. I'd probably find a good-ass level fruit too, because I got an eye for good food. I'm gonna say fuck that. I think I'd be Pirate King. Lord of the Rings. Listen, it depends on what situation you're putting me in. If I'm just living somewhere and I'm living in the Shire, I'm living a lovely life. I mean, like the Shire might be one of the most beautiful places to live as an individual, but if I gotta be in a Frodo's pack, yeah, that's a toss-up for sure. That's a toss-up, especially if I spawn in like Mordor. Oh no. If I spawn in like Mordor, kilos under the floorboard, doom! Literal hell. Like, It's genuinely hell on earth. Filled with demon spawn. I mean, your only chance of survival is if Doomslayer pulls up on you and saves your ass. But even then, he might take you as a demon, especially if you're like chop sheet, and he might just slime you with the crucible blade. So I really don't know. Dairy! I gotta deal with this fucker. Sorry to anybody who's easily frightened. Pennywise the dancing clown. Guys, I don't fear no man who bleeds red. Thing is, this motherfucker doesn't bleed red. He'd be a little bit scary, especially because he shows up as your fear. However, I'm an adult, guys. You make me acutely aware that I am 21 years of age, so I'm not really in his wheelhouse as far as who he'd target. Unless, does he slime adults? I don't think he does. So I think as I am right now, I'm completely fine. Now, if I was a jit, yeah, I'd be fucking shitting my britches. But I think it depends on what the rule set is. World War Z. Yeah, this is literal hell. Bro, this is literal hell. There's other verses of zombies where it's kind of maintainable, you know, but whenever they're stacking on each other, they're just like, yes, sir. Yeah, you're cooked. There's not even a chance for survival. The boys bought New York City, or whatever this might be. This is a toss-up. It just, you gotta hope you stay out the sights of the soups. If Homelander's pissed off one day and he just starts like torching, you know, he goes scorched earth, or butcher his bloody mind, or A-Train's just sprinting and he runs right through one of your people, it's a toss-up for sure. Elden Ring. Guys, I think I'd be alright. I've lived in Elden Ring before, but if I spawn into that verse, I am a tarnished, right? Because I am a tarnished. I am maidenless in real life. Meaning that if I spawn into the Elden Ring verse, I would have access to all the RPG elements of boosting my stats, like strength. And I'd find a maiden so I could have the blessing of grace and whatnot and boost my stats. Plus, I know the enemy's movesets, right? I'd be able to damn, you know, I become an Elden Lord for sure. Stranger Things. I'm surviving this verse with literal ease. Bro, they couldn't kill a single character, so unless you're a newly introduced character to the franchise, all you gotta do is been there since season 1. If that's the case, I'm gonna be alright. They're not touching me. I don't gotta worry about that. I'm staying out the leaks. If I get trapped in the upside down, especially by the end of the whole series, is just a candy ass place. It's like sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows everywhere. You're good, man. You're really good. It just depends. All right, Marvel New York. Dude, I mean, that's literal hell. Let's go over all the things that take place in Marvel New York. Obviously, the Battle of New York City. My God, you had the Chitauri invasion. They ravaged the city. You had this guy walking throughout the streets of New York City. His foot is about the size of the whole city. You're gonna get stomped on. You had the whole Sinister Six. If any one of these gets their mitts on you, I trust my hero Spidey to get me right, but I mean, it is a pretty sinister assembly of individuals. You gotta worry about Thanos' ass coming and snapping your existence out. I don't know what to do. That Marvel New York is literal hell. Mushroom Kingdom. I live a lovely life, bro. Unless you look like Princess Peach, you're fine. I don't even think that they assault the toads very much. I think they might be oppressive a little bit. Also, did I mention that I'm Italian? So all the sort of boosts, the fire flowers, the mushrooms, the stars, I'm eating all of that, and I'm gonna have the same powers as Mario. Yahoo! Star Wars. Again, this is one of those things where it just depends on where you live. Am I on Tatooine? If so, it's literal hell.
I don't like sand.
Am I on Coruscant? It depends even what level of Coruscant. Are you in the bottom slums? Or are you in the top, like, highfalutin area? Are you a Jedi? Are you a Sith? Are you in the Outer Rim? This is all dependent on that. So I'm gonna say it's a toss-up, realistically speaking. Fortnite Battle Royale Island. This would be literal hell. Why? Because you are cursed to live in an eternal loop of pain and suffering. You cannot hide because a storm will get you, or a damn nerd who has spent his entire life in his victim weight will chase you down and put you in a box and then talk his shit sounding like you got the Fortnite accent. Not even bush camping can save you if you live in the Fortnite verse. You will get demolished. It is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You have an impending doom on your neck. Purge. With the purge, it just depends on your boys. Like, I'm hanging out with my boys that night, and we're locking the fuck. And I got a good gang of fellas that I could trust with my life, so I really don't gotta worry about too much. I'm fairly certain that I'd be alright. Metropolis. Literal hell. It's all fun and games of, like, living in a fun city until Doomsday is being dragged through your block by Soups. Or Bizarro is just going crazy, or General Zod is throwing a building at Soups and accidentally hits your remote. You know, and I'll say barely surviving because people make an honest to God living there, but for the most part, you're probably good. Gravity Falls! There's just so many weird individuals can get you. I think you're good. It just depends. Can Bill Cipher be stopped? Because if this guy's unleashed, you're cooked. It's literal hell. But I would say for the most part, I'd be alright. I don't think you really gotta worry about that. Like, what am I gonna worry about? This chud? I'm not worried about Gideon Gleeful. Smack the taste out that tubby fuck's mouth. Attack on Titan! I'm not a part of the scout regiment. I'm simply, like, let's say I'm literally living in Shiganshina during the fall of Shiganshina. That's literal hell. If I gotta see the individuals who are like this. Yeah, it's over with. And then like the Armor Titan, the Colossal Titan, if the Beast Titan is throwing rocks at my household, wallahi, I'm cooked. Hunger Games, if I'm participating in Hunger Games, I like my odds. It's a toss-up, but I'm fairly certain I like my odds. However, like, I mean, damn, you just gotta be like the most apt to survive. I can wield a sword. You get a choice weapon inside of the Hunger Games. If I'm armed with my Louisville Slugger, I could definitely stand my base and win that and take it home for my district. You know what I mean? I put the district on my back and win. Skylands! From Skylanders. I literally have saved the Skylands numerous occasions. I've never backed down or given up whenever the Skylands were in danger. I have defended it from evil and villainy at every single beck and call. I live a lovely life in the Skylands. Dragon Ball verse. What you're saying with the Dragon Ball verse is that you're putting me in the battlefield whenever Goku and Frieza are delivering multiversal level strikes to one another. Yeah, it's literal hell. I'm cooked. Pokemon! Gotta catch them all. Honestly, would live a lovely life. I don't think I'm in any sort of danger here. The Pokemon aren't hostile. It's literally just normal life with animals that you can catch and battle with one another. I would become the greatest Pokemon trainer, same as I have in real life. All right, the Naruto verse, it depends on what place you live, right? Or are you in the Hidden Leaf? Are you in the village hidden in the sand? Are you in the Hidden Rain, Hidden Mist? I'm gonna assume you're in the Hidden Leaf during like the main part of Naruto. Whenever the Pain Assault happens, I mean, he revived everybody. And like, are you enlisted in the 4th grade ninja war? I'm fairly certain you'd be alright. Especially with me and my grind set mentality, especially if I see Yai Sensei actively like working out before me, I'm gonna lock in and get my power levels up. Fallout! I don't think it's that dangerous. Well, I mean, there's a chance I might get jumped by a rad bug or some gang of raiders, but I could also probably navigate the lands fairly well myself, especially if I get my hands on some power armor. Oh, I'm Gucci. Call of Duty Nuketown. Literal hell, I'm getting slimed thousands of times over. That's again one of those points where you're trapped in an infinite loop hellscape. Gotham City. Literal hell. I would be the type that's pissed at Batman. I get you're a hero and whatnot, but when the Joker gets out of prison once, okay, we messed up a little bit. Let's put him back in the cell. When he gets out twice, Batman, what the fuck is going on here? Why are we throwing him in Arkham Asylum? This is proven to not work. When he busts out the pen 3 times in a row, yo, Batman, slime that motherfucker. I'm done with this. At some point, the blame falls on you whenever like Joker does the laughing gas at half the city and they cackle to that. And this happens with the entirety of Batman's rogue gallery. So yeah, Gotham City would be the worst place to live probably ever. Planet of the Apes. Guys, I'm a monkey in terms of my Chinese New Year. I feel like they would sense that and come to some sort of understanding and be like, nah, he's chill. Gianni, friend typeness, right? And I'm a good guy to animals. I don't think they would want to slime me just because I'm a human. I would say, it depends really. I would say it's a toss-up. Invincible. Literal hell. If Filtermites are waging war in my city block while I'm just trying to go grab like a pack of Twinkies from the local gas station corner store, I'm not gonna do well. They're gonna at some point just torch my house. It's gonna get blown up. I'm gonna hear Conquest. At least I would say I'm living a lovely life because I do get to see Adam Eve from time to time. So maybe I'll put in like barely surviving because again, there's all people who make a decent life. It's somewhat similar to Metropolis. But I mean, golly, it's bad. God of War first. Literal hell. Guys, at the end of God of War 3, spoiler alert, you live in God of War Greece. It is a, literally speaking, godless territory because Kratos waxed everybody. Not a single person is safe. It is turned into a hellscape. It is no different from the underworld. Walking Dead. Again, I don't think I'd be helpless in a zombie apocalypse. I mean, bro, I've already won half the battle by having the Louisville Slugger on deck, right? All I gotta do is like make a gang called the Saviors, and bada bing, bada boom, I'm living a lovely life in that mug. However, it would be annoying to have to deal with a walker. Dead walkers. So all I gotta do is gather a good posse, and it's just basically a normal. I don't think the walkers will be as big as a problem as the show made it seem. They just need to like create stakes, so they would always put like, you know, just like Looney Tunes scenarios where the walkers would be a problem. I feel like it's a toss-up, but for the most part, I'd be good. Michael Myers Haddonfield. So let's say Michael Myers breaks out Halloween night and is on my city or on my like neighborhood block. He doesn't slime everybody, right? But if he's on my ass, I'm barely surviving. It just depends. If he's on my ass, there's a good chance. Like when he's locked in, when Michael Myers is locked in. I mean, guys, you want to talk about flow state? Whenever Michael Myers is honed in on somebody he's got a slime, different generational levels of lock-in, right? Jurassic Park. I'm on the island whenever the outbreak of dinos happens. Yeah, I'm barely surviving. I mean, bro, you have like these people who are just like normal archaeologists or like geologists or whatever the hell they study. Biologists, I'm not really sure. Yeah, a T-Rex might bite me in my booty. A pterodactyl might scoop me up. A gang of velociraptors might jump me. However, again, people survive this. I would probably, but barely. The Matrix! Here's the thing about the Matrix. Everyone's like, bro, I would so take the red pill. There's no way I would just go back to living in the Matrix. But realistically speaking, what life awaits you after you take the red pill? Okay, you wake up. Now you gotta live in some little like hunky banky tank robots chasing you every second call. Like that's hardly living. I'm sorry. Put me back in the Matrix and give me that damn steak. It tastes good as hell. So you know what? I live a lovely life. You know, I'll say it's IBI because it would just be like living a normal life, and life is cruel and dark, especially if you let it. So yeah. Chainsaw Man, literal hell. Chainsaw Man is literal hell. I mean, just the amount of devils that get out and the amount of carnage that happens, especially in the city, like the gun devil. I don't want to spoil, so I won't get into all the devils that cause mass chaos and destruction. But in the manga, it gets bad. I mean, it would be worth living a little bit because, you know, Makima's in the mix. But it'd be hard to. My hero. Okay, wait. Is there like odds wheel? I gotta see if I spawn in a quirk. I'm gonna ask chat if I have a quirk. We're gonna ask ChatGPT. Even if I don't have a quirk, can I still be a hero like you? You too can be a hero. All I have to do is go beyond Ultra! If I saw someone in danger, my body would move before I could think, and then Oma would be like, kid, I respect that. Here's one for all. I'd probably get one for all. So you know what? I'd probably be alright. I would be a hero. The greatest hero. I just gotta deal with the villainy. Okay, Bleach. I'm living in the Seirete. Listen, unless Sosuke Aizen or Yihabahaka pull up on me, I feel like I'm pretty good. I'd be alright. Looney Tunes. Now, this is just like, I gotta beware of falling pianos, comically large mallets, and then just goofy Toon Force abilities. But again, they have like infinite regeneration. Like Bugs Bunny could be horrifically burned to a crisp, and in the next scene, he's completely regenerated. I believe that same logic would apply to me. If I'm existing in a cartoon space, I would also have access to Toon Force. So for that reason, I'm gonna go so far as to say I would live a lovely life. Minecraft! This is just being a normal dude. All you gotta do is like punch wood. You gotta know basic materials. You know how to work the crafting bench, which I do. Just beware of the mobs at night. But even then, Steve could melee them. And we don't even have a set feat as far as how much Steve can bench. I bench 225 for repetitions. If I didn't make that clear already, I'm also 6'3". Did I mention I'm 6'3"? So if Steve can melee zombies, skeletons, pretty much everything to death, I could too. I'm fairly certain I'd be alright unless I get jumped. GTA 5. If I lived in GTA 5, this would be literal hell. Why? Guys, let's take a look at GTA Online. The amount of sick, evil, demented villains that just roam around out on the online space is insane. I mean, think of all the things that can go wrong. People could just pull up on you, slime you with the carbine. They could pull up on the oppressor and hit you with that. They could drop an orbital strike on you. They could call a mugger on you. You could get caught in a 5-star, chase, and then a stray bullet might hit you. It is literally the worst place to live, probably ever, that has ever existed currently. Okay, even though it doesn't exist currently. Clash of Clans. This depends. Could I survive if my village was under siege? It depends on how well I can get on. How fast can I adapt if I live in a city that's constantly under siege? And do I respawn if the village gets taken over? For that reason, I'm gonna say it's a toss-up. It just depends on what happens. Yarnum! Bloodborne. Literal hell. I pass. All right, I'll say I'm barely surviving, but it's just, with Elden Ring, there's beautiful spots with Yarnum, it's just literal hell as far as the actual landscape is concerned. I have survived in that though. I know the boss's moveset, especially if I'm granted the RPG. If I spawn in and I take up the trade as a hunter, I could learn my ways around it and eventually win to live a lovely life. However, everything about that place just sucks. Lego movie, if I spawn in the Lego city and I'm like a Lego figure, guys, with my creative mindset, obviously, as you should know, I'd be a master builder with literally. Let me take a look at that behind you. I would know how to assemble all the things. And you know what my life would be? It wouldn't just be a lovely life, it'd be an awesome life. Why? Because everything is awesome. Hey!